Greetings, I am TiPit, and do you want to get good at Black Ops 3? If so, listen to my few reasons on how to get good at Black Ops 3. You got to learn the movement patterns. Movement patterns are how people play, how people move around the map. Movement patterns include wall running, the jumping around, the jetpacks. You need to be able to adjust according to how the people around you are playing and how they're moving. Therefore, if somebody is jumping a lot, you will easily be able to predict his path. And of course, you also have to make use of it yourself. So therefore, when you are coming and attacking a position, think of the wall run. Try to wall run as much as possible. Also, when you're beside a cliff or something, you can wall run around the cliff. There are many very cool spots that I've only seen professionals use, but that I've started using myself and actually learned a lot about. So, learn how to move. Another element is learning how to know the maps. Okay, so the gameplay in the background is Nuketown, of course. But the main reason why people play Nuketown like crazy demons and just starting to play Nuketown can be a little bit more difficult is that the positions are always the same and the map is very close range. Therefore, you know exactly where people are going to be pulling out of every single time, pretty much. And that makes it so that you can predict positions. You can also pre-aim spots, and you can pre-shoot sometimes. So you definitely need to know the maps, know them by heart. Know that if you're moving somewhere and then you start walking backwards, are you going to be bumping into something, or is that the exit? You need to know where people will go in general, where the spawns are, and normally how to evade somebody spawning behind you. Another element that is very difficult to learn at first, but is very useful, especially if you start using the minimap as much as possible, is knowing when there's a spawn switch. Spawn switching is when people are on one side of the map getting crushed, and all of a sudden they start spawning on the other side of the map because they were just getting destroyed at the other spot. So you need to know how to know and predict a spawn switch. If you see that your entire team is on the other side of the map, watch out. Your back is exposed. They may be coming behind you. Definitely, that was one of the things that one of my friends was having a lot of problems with. He did not know how to predict when the enemy was going to spawn behind us. So, if he did, he would have been a way better player. Learn what you're good at. I am good with snipers. I normally am an okay sniper in general. I don't do it much. But in Black Ops, since it's a pretty much of a one-shot kill for many of the snipers, if you get a body shot, I've learned that I'm really good at it, and ever since Battlefield 1942 I hadn't been using snipers much, but I got back into it, and man, I'm good with snipers in general. So, learn what you're good at. Also, when you unlock the melee weapon, it's a very easy weapon to use. If you appropriately use the sliding mechanics and the movement mechanics, you can be a very effective knifer, which can be abused, of course, but you just have to learn what you're good at. If you're good with SMGs, I'm also good with SMGs, and I'm also good with some of the LMGs. I will use those according to the situation. Therefore, if we're in a very close ranged map and the enemy is always using a certain type of weapon, I will use the weapon that's appropriate to that weapon to counteract it. So therefore, I need to learn what I should use. Now, this is also a little bit according to the last point, but you need to learn what to do to be able to counteract certain positions and maps, and how to counteract certain enemies. For instance, the knifers, those guys that are always running on with a knife. How to counteract them? Probably is with a shotgun. That's one of the best ways, because shotguns are most effective at close range and have a little bit more range, of course, than a knife. Therefore, you are able to counteract a knifer very well. Another thing is a sniper. If there's always somebody running around with a sniper and he's always destroying you, the best way to counteract them is to try to get close. So there again, once again, you would probably want to have a shotgun. But if you can also do something else, for instance with an SMG, SMGs are very effective against snipers, considering that the first shot throws off the aim, and from that point you're able to continue engaging the enemy, and most of the time totally throw their aim off, so they are unable to attack you. Also, with this, build yourself some good weapon kits that work well together. They accumulate really well. For instance, my best kit that I've been using ever since I pretty much started playing is the knife and the locust. I use the Locust as my main, have the stock weaponry, everything besides rapid fire and the FMNJ, and besides that, I have the knife, and I have a bunch of grenades and stuff. So I'm able to use those things very effectively because the sniper is for the range, and if ever I get into a very enclosed area, I immediately switch over to my knife because I'm expecting the enemy to be close range, so I'll be able to knife them, and as soon as I need, I'll be able to switch back to my sniper. So get some good combination kits. Also, this helps your teammates out a lot, but take out kill streaks as much as possible. That UAV in the air is a problem. You need to take it out, especially of course if it's a Cerberus or something. But that will help your entire team do better. That will nullify the effect of the other player on the other team that has been doing very well and therefore has been getting large kill streaks. You destroy kill streaks and you keep your team up. You keep the enemy from knowing where you are at all times, and you pretty much give your whole team an advantage. Of course, it also gives you points. Throwing grenades is not very difficult, but to best utilize assistance grenades such as concussion, EMP, or flash grenades, that is actually a skill. You need to learn to know when to best use them, and to not dismiss them too quickly and just say, hey, I prefer having an extra perk or extra skill, and replace all your grenades with other elements. You need to learn to know when to best use your specialist weapon. Therefore, when you have unlocked loaded the glitch, you need to know when to use it best. When to use it best, you need to be run after by somebody. You use it so that you spawn behind them and then you can kill them. Or when to use the Ripper the best time. I've seen many people waste the Rippers on me only and then get killed. You need to learn how to use the Ripper the best timing to better optimize the situation to your advantage. Also, the last thing I suggest is that you not push yourself too much down. When you aren't doing very well, especially if you're starting out, it's going to be really tough, it's going to be frustrating. But the more you get frustrated, the more it's going to be bad. You got to stop getting frustrated, not give up, and just focus. If it's not going well, it's either your teammates or it's you. And if it's you, you can get better. If it's your teammates, well, there's going to be another battle. There's going to be another match. They're going to change. They won't be there anymore. Therefore, it won't be your teammates anymore. But if the problem is with you, use these tips to get better and to get good ultimately.